दंडोत प्रणाम प्रभु जी।
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Yeah, thank you. Hare Krishna. So, welcome everyone for today's Bhakti Shastri Bhagavad Ishopanishad class. So, we will start with prayers. Mangalacharya. ओमज्ञ ओमज्ञान्तिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकथां मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सागररघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादां सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषं सुखवादी पाश्चात्यदेशकारिणे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरतुषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते वेशगोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी शोभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तः। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। Okay. So, so before continuing the yesterday's discussion, we'll revise what we learned yesterday. So first, we saw the Pratyaksha Praman and Anuman Praman and their defects. So the four defects are imperfection, illusion, mistakes, and cheating propensity. Then we saw how the Vedas, they are beyond these four defects, they are perfect, they are free from these four defects, and they are time tested, and they go by the process of deduction, Abaroha. So they save time and they are authentic, they are coming from the parampara. So that is, and they are applicable everywhere. It's not they are only applicable for Indians or something. Prabhupada gives how Varnashram is relevant everywhere. So that is about Vedas. And then Prabhupada explains about, differentiates contrast between deductive approach and inductive approach. So deductive approach saves time. Inductive approach can be erroneous. But yeah, deductive approach is especially important while learning the spiritual knowledge, especially the purpose and origin of life, purpose and origin of this world, about God, all these transcendental subject matters. Inductive approach may be needed some cases, like corona, like inventing some new things, etc. That is about this. So then Prabhupada also stresses that how the transcendental subjects are beyond the ability of our senses. So, and they cannot be experimented. You cannot experiment Big Bang, or you cannot experiment with creation of universe. So that way. So that's why Vedas are the sole authority for this transcendental subject matters. They are the only source. Then also Prabhupada then emphasizes that how Vedas are very vast. So that's why we need a spiritual master to guide. And we discussed also the benefits of having a spiritual guide. And we also discussed how we can increase our faith on Vedas and how to make Vedas relevant to newcomers, what are the challenges, etc. Okay, so we'll start with today's session. Yeah. So Prabhupada emphasized on how there is a need to only seek the essence. So there is a nice Shubhashita which tells about this. Aneka Shastram Bahuvedittavyam Alpascha Kalo Bahavascha Vigna Yat Sarabhutam Tad Upasitavyam Hamso Yata Kshiram Ambumadhyat. There are many Shastras, bodies of knowledge, doctrines, and abundance of knowledge. But we have very limited time and a lot of obstacles. Yeah, so Manda Sumanda Matayo Manda Bhagya Hipadruta. So that's why, as a swan extracts milk from a mixture of milk and water, one should study the essence of the Shastras, rather studying each and every Shastra to great details. Can someone raise hand? Can read this? Yes, Anil Kumar, we can read from this Krishna consciousness meaning.
Hare Krishna. This Krishna consciousness movement is completely authorized from Vedic principles. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says the actual aim of Vedic research is to find out Krishna. In the Brahma Samhita, it is also stated Krishna Govinda has innumerable forms, but they are all one. They are not like our forms, which are fallible. His form is infallible. My form has a beginning, but his form has no beginning. It is Ananta, and his form, so many multiforms, has no end. My form is sitting here and not in my apartment. You are sitting there and not in your apartment. But Krishna can be everywhere at one time. He can sit down in Goloka, Vrindavana, and at the same time, he is everywhere, all pervading. He is original, the oldest, but whenever you look at a picture of Krishna, you will find a young boy, 15 or 20-year old. You will never find an old man. You have seen pictures of Krishna as a charioteer from the Bhagavad Gita. At that time, he was not less than 100 years old. He had great grandchildren, but he looked just like a boy. Krishna God never becomes old. There is that is his supreme power. And if you want to search out Krishna by studying the Vedic literature, then you will be baffled. It may be possible, but it is very difficult. But uh,
Then
but yeah, yeah. But you can very easily learn about him from his devotees. His devotees can deliver him to you. Here he is. Take him. That is the potency of Krishna devotees.
okay, just a minute.
O-
So I'll so yeah, here Prabhupada is telling about Krishna means how he is for he's formless and also he has a form and he has many names and he's also telling how Goloka Eva Nivasati Akilatma Bhuto. Krishna can be simultaneously present in Goloka and as well as everywhere. And also he's telling about the Adhyam Purana Purusham Navayavanam. So that Krishna is very old but he still looks young. And then Prabhupada is saying that if you want to know about Krishna, then the source is Vedic literature. And Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, Vedescha sarve rahameva vedyo. Even the purpose of Vedic literature also is to know about Krishna. But still, the Vedic literature is very vast, as we just read that verse, Aneka Shastram Bahuvedittavyam. So then it is better to approach a devotee of Krishna, and then we can easily learn. Yes, Proj, you can continue this. Originally, there was only one Veda.
Originally, there was only one Veda, and there was no necessity of reading it. People were so intelligent and had such sharp memories that by once hearing from the lips of the spiritual master, they would understand. They would immediately grasp the whole purport. But 5,000 years ago, Vyasadeva put the Vedas in writing for the people in this age, Kali Yuga. He knew that even actually the people would be short-lived, their memories would be very poor, and their intelligence would not be very sharp. Therefore, let me teach this Vedic knowledge in writing. He divided the Vedas into four: Rig, Sam, Yajur, Rig, Sam, Atharv, and Yajur. Then he gave the charge of these Vedas to different disciples. He then thought of the less intelligent class of Man, Sri, Sudra, and
Nijaban.
Dvija Bandhu. Dvija Bandhu. He considered the woman class and Sudra class, worker class, and Dvija Bandhu. Dvija Bandhu refers to those who are born in a high family but who are not properly qualified. A man who is born in the family of a Brahmana but is not qualified as a Brahmana is called the Dvija Bandhu. For these persons, he compiled the Mahabharata, called the history of India, and the 18 Purana. These are all part of the Vedic literature. The Puranas, the Mahabharata, the four Vedas, and the Upanishads. The Upanishads are the part of the Vedas. The Vyasadeva summarized all Vedic knowledge for scholars and scroll down
Yeah, yeah.
philosopher in what is called Vedanta Sutra. This is the last word of the Vedas.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Vedas.
It's done. It's done. Thank you, thank you. Okay. So here Prabhupada is talking about initially there is only one Veda, and that time the people are very intelligent. So that time there were no books. So if you have to know, if you have to study a particular Veda, you have to go to a guru. Hmm. There is no other way. And your guru, because he knows the Veda completely, and he will teach you. There is no books or internet or no, you can Google and get it. But as Kali Yuga, it is again said, Manda Sumanda Matayo, Manda Bhagya Hipadruta. So, and they have short age, they have short intelligence, they are disturbed, and so they have short memory. So that's why Vyasadeva has put the Vedas into writing. And yeah, originally Veda, the word Veda means Vedayati Dharmam Brahma Cha Veda. So the scripture which teaches about Dharma and Brahman, about the absolute truth and Dharma. Dharma means our duty. Or so that is the word Veda. And the Vedas are divided into, I will show this. The Vedas are divided in this way. So there is Shruti and there is Smriti. So Shruti is the revealed truth, which means the Shruti always remains constant, especially the Vedas and all. No? Textually means they remain always constant throughout, throughout the entire creation after creation. If Vedas, yeah, there are persons' names are described like Indra, Chandra, and all. Those personalities may change, but the pose will remain the same. So there is no change in the Vedic text. And eternally, Krishna reveals it in the same way. And though there may be different Vyasadevas also who write the Vedas, but that Vedic law, this Vedas, the texts remain the same. Smriti is the composed by sages, like depending upon the time, place, circumstance. They may tell the similar things, but with different examples, or no, it may change. Wording may change from age to age. So Shruti words doesn't change. So under Shruti there are Vedas, Upavedas, and Vedangas, and each Vedas mainly, a large section of Vedas are mainly for Karma Kanda. That's why they are called as Purva Mimamsa. So every Veda contains different types of sections. So for one section are called as Samhitas, and Samhitas contain different mantras. Generally, Samhitas contain mantras for no invoking demigods or glorifying demigods. The Brahmanas, they contain the ritual explanation of the mantras, and Aranyakas also similar explanation of the mantras. Then the Upanishads contain the philosophy of about liberation, detachment, and the philosophy of absolute truth, etc. And also there's four Vedas. The Rig Veda mainly contains about invoking demigods. That we invite, like before the yajna, we invite the demigods. Then Om Shanno Mitrasham Varnaha Shanno Bhavat Aryama. So like this, there will be different mantras where we invite the demigods. Then while performing yajna, we offer oblations. Om Indraya Swaha Idam Namama, like that. We do this. Like then in Samaveda, so once the demigods accept the offerings, we glorify the demigods. So Samaveda, they contain songs glorifying the demigods. So Samaveda contains about all this Sarigama and all, they are from Samaveda. Then Atharvaveda contains about the ethics, like how one should conduct in society and all that it contains. Then there are Upavedas. Upavedas are like peripheral sciences like Dhanurveda, Ayurveda, Vastu Shastra, Dhatu Shastra, metallurgy, like this different things. Then these Vedangas are actually those which are very essential for studying and understanding Vedas. So it contains about Kalpa. Kalpa means ritual details, and Siksha is pronunciation of the language. The Vedic mantras, they have to be pronounced very properly. And then Vyakarna, the Panini Sutras and all that it contains. Then Nirukta is etymology, words and their meanings. So dictionary, Nirukta is basically dictionary. Chandas is meters. Shiksha is pronunciation of letters, means not words. Yeah, Chandas is about singing the mantras. And then in Smriti, there is this ritual mantras, ritual sutras. Under this, there is Dharma Sutras, Grihya Sutras, and Shauta Sutras. Then there is Tantras. In that, the tantric rites and all are spoken. Then Pancharatras. Pancharatras are the system of deity worship uh, which we follow in our in a Vaishnava way. So they contain about how the Lord has to be bathed, how Lord has to be worshipped. So all that, the Bhuta Shuddhi and all these details are there. Then the Puranas, there are 18 major Puranas like Padma Puran, Vishnu Puran. These are like in goodness. Then there is like Matsya Puran and Shiva Puran, they are like in ignorance. And like there's Skanda Puran, these are like in passion. So they are also six across all the three modes. And there are also minor Puranas, Upa Puranas. Then there is Itihasas, which also Prabhupada mentioned in the paragraph. Uh, Under this, Mahabharata comes, Itihasa. Then based on all this, there are different philosophical systems, darshans, which is written. And also there is Vedanta Sutra. It's not mentioned here. So the Vedanta Sutra is written by Vyasadeva so that one can understand the Upanishads properly. The Vedanta Sutra is also the summary of Vedic knowledge, and using those Vedanta Sutra, you can actually understand the Puranas and understand the Upanishads in a proper way. Okay. So under the six darshans, there are Sankhya. Okay. Okay. So first there is Nyaya. Nyaya generally contains the way to understand the literature. So Nyaya contains the rules of how to the logic, that those things Nyaya contains. Then also there is Mimamsa. Mimamsa also uh, gives the science of interpretation, means how to, because in rituals there will be many rules at many places. So then how to resolve those controversies and how to which one is more important in a given situation. So all these things are there in Mimamsa. Then there is Sankhya. Okay, then there is Vaisheshika. Vaisheshika is by Kannada. Means then it shows how all the things in the world are composed of atoms and all. And then basically it shows how uh, this world is not for our enjoyment, and we have to go towards liberation. Sankhya, it shows how this world, everything is made up of the 24 elements. And then it also points out towards liberation. Yoga, it directly tells about how to practice dhyana yoga, contains the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, and that also how to go towards liberation and how to attain absolute truth. Then Vedanta, it tells about Brahman, but yeah, there are different schools in Vedanta. As Prabhupada also explained in the previous pamphlet, in Vedanta there is Vaishnavas and also there are Advaitins. So impersonalists. So that is there. Okay. So this is this is this is about how the whole Vedic knowledge is divided. Okay, Anil Kumar Pro, can you continue reading? Vyasdev personal word.
Yeah, bro. Vyasdev personally wrote the Vedanta Sutra under the instructions of Narada, his Guru Maharaj, spiritual master. But still he was not satisfied. That is a long story described in Srimad Bhagavatam. Ved Vyasa was not very satisfied even after compiling many Puranas and Upanishads, and even after writing the Vedanta Sutra, then his spiritual master Narada instructed him, you explain the Vedanta Sutra. Vedanta means ultimate knowledge, and the ultimate knowledge is Krishna. Krishna says that throughout all the Vedas, one has to understand him. Vedas,
Vedescha
Veda,
sarve ahameva vedya.
Veda, Krishna, Vedasya Sarve Aham Va
Vedya.
Veda, Vedya. Krishna also says Vedanta
Vedanta
Krishna.
krit veda vidyeva cha. Yes, yes.
I am the compiler of the Vedanta Sutras and I am the knower of the Vedas. Therefore, the ultimate objective is Krishna. That is explained in all the Vaishnavas commentaries on Vedanta philosophy. We Gaudiya Vaishnavas have our commentary on Vedanta philosophy called Govinda Govinda Bhasya by Baladev Vidyabhushan. Similarly, Ramanujacharya has a commentary and Madhvacharya has one. The version of Shankaracharya is not the only commentary. There are many Vedanta commentaries, but because the Vaishnavas did not present the first Vedanta commentary, people are under the wrong impression that Shankaracharya is the only Vedanta commentary. Besides that, Vyasadeva himself wrote the perfect Vedanta commentary. Srimad Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam begins with the first word of Vedanta Sutra, Janma Asya Janma
Janmadi
Asya
asya yata.
Janmadi Asya Yata, and the Janmadi Asya Yada is fully explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. The Vedanta Sutra simply hints at what is Brahmana, the absolute truth. The absolute truth is that from whom everything emits. That this is the summary, but it is explained in details in Srimad Bhagavatam. If everything is emitting from the absolute truth, then what is the nature of the absolute truth? That is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. The absolute truth must be conscious. He is self-effulgent. We develop our consciousness and knowledge by receiving knowledge from others, but for him it is said that he is self-effulgent. The whole summary of Vedic knowledge is the Vedanta Sutra, and the Vedanta Sutra is explained by the writer himself in Srimad Bhagavatam. we finally request those who are actually after Vedic knowledge to try to understand the explanation of all Vedic knowledge from Srimad Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So Prabhupada is saying that how the whole summary of Vedic knowledge, as Krishna told in Bhagavad Gita, Vedasya sarver ahameva vedyo. From all the Vedas, I am to be known. And where Krishna is uh, uh, properly described on in Srimad Bhagavatam. In Vedanta Sutra also, absolute truth is described Brahman, but it's more very well elaborated on Srimad Bhagavatam. It is also written by the same author Vyasadeva. And also another argument was Vyasadeva himself was dissatisfied after reading Vedanta Sutra, and he got completely satisfied after writing Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's why also makes sense why one should study Srimad Bhagavatam. And yes, and even our own Acharya like Baladev Vidyabhushan also wrote commentary on Vedanta Sutra, which is Govinda Bhashya. Like Ramanujacharya has written Sri Bhashya and Madhvacharya has written Purna Pragya Bhashya. Okay. So now, yeah. So why this commentary tradition has come is because Shankaracharya has started this. It's called as Prasthana Trayi. Prasthana means sources. So the three sources of knowledge. Shruti Prasthan, as we studied earlier, Shruti means that which is revealed, and the wordings, no, the words doesn't change. They remain constant from one Mahayuga to another Mahayuga and all that. So in that there are 10 principal Upanishads Shankaracharya has commented. They are these 10 principles. Isha Upanishad, Kena Upanishad, Katha Upanishad, Krishna Upanishad, like this. Then another is Smriti Prasthan. Under Smriti Prasthan, Shankaracharya has commented on Bhagavad Gita. Uh, Bhagavad Gita also sometimes is considered as Upanishad, but here Shankaracharya considered because it is part of Mahabharata, which is Itihasa, but also has some way similar to Smriti. So that way he considered it under Smriti Prasthan. And Nyaya Prasthan is Vedanta Sutra. Vedanta Sutra is mainly written to give the summary of Vedas, and also that's using that summary one can understand the Upanishads properly. So
Prabhuji, what is the meaning of prasthana you said just
source,
now?
source.
So,
Okay. So that's why this means this tradition of commenting on all these things was started by Shankaracharya, and Ramanujacharya he commented on Vedanta Sutra, Sri Bhashya, but and Bhagavad Gita also he has commented, but he did not comment. But there are some successor acharyas who commented. Madhvacharya has commented on all these three things, and in our sampradaya, like Baladev Vidyabhushan has done that service of commenting on Vedanta Sutra and then Bhagavad Gita and on the 10 Upanishads. But unfortunately, now we have only the Ishopanishad commentary, but others were got lost. Okay. So we are done, now we are done with the introduction part. So does anyone have any questions? What we covered in the introduction till now? Okay, so I'll just revise what we studied in introduction. So it is similar to what Jiva Goswami also uses in Tattva Sandarbha on to establish the superiority of Srimad Bhagavatam. It means in a similar lines. So first, Prabhupada showed how there are four defects in acquiring knowledge through Pratyaksha Praman and Anuman Praman. Then how Prabhupada showed how the Vedas are perfect, they are time tested, they are based on deductive approach, so it saves time. We need not do experiments to find knowledge. Then the Vedas are also mainly the Vedas are the only source for transcendental subjects, like the purpose and origin of life, purpose and origin of the world, and about God, all these things, Vedas are the only source. Because this knowledge is beyond Pratyaksha and Anuman. We cannot do experiments and find out these things. Then Prabhupada also showed how Krishna is God and how he is accepted by different acharyas. Even Shankaracharya accepted him. And to understand Krishna, Vedas are the only source. He also described Krishna's qualities from Brahma Samhita. And he showed, yeah, we ourselves cannot study Vedas. We need a spiritual master. And then Prabhupada explained how the Vedas are initially one because of Kali Yuga. For Kali Yuga people, Vyasadeva has divided them into four, and then Mahabharata, then Vedanta Sutra, and then how Srimad Bhagavatam is the source for studying Krishna, and Srimad Bhagavatam is also the essence of the Vedic literatures because it is a natural commentary on Vedanta Sutra. Yeah, it is a Bhava Anuvad, means it is not a textual commentary, means word to word commentary, but it is a Bhava Anuvad. Okay, so now we are done with the introduction. Now we will discuss a little bit about Ishopanishad and then we will start with the invocation verse. Upanishads and Ishopanishad. So the Upanishads are considered as the head of the Vedas or the crown jewel of Vedas. So the word Upanishad has two meanings. Upa means near, Nishadati means bring. So that which helps one to achieve liberation and bring closer to Lord. That is Upanishad. Or Upa means near, Ni means certainly. Sad. Sad means loosen or destroy or attain. Yeah, this is the Sanskrit word Sad, Upanishad. So loosen, destroy or attain, not sad. So that knowledge which loosens bondage with certainty means it will definitely loosen the bondage, destroys ignorance concerning the Jiva Swarupa and brings one close to Lord. That is another meaning of Upanishad. So generally, Upanishads are generally also seen as it is for impersonalists or it contain impersonalist knowledge and all. It's not like that. Mainly the prominent commentaries on the Upanishads are by impersonalists. So this also Prabhupada also explained because the first commentary on the Vedanta Sutra is by Shankaracharya, Sharirika Bhashya. That's why we think that that is the only thing, or the whole Vedanta Sutra itself is also about Mayavad or something. But that is not like that. Like we can also study Upanishads, so that will help us understand more about the Vedic philosophy. If you see in Taittiriya Upanishad, there is this koshas. So like that, Upanishads also contains many deeper concepts of philosophy. And then there is also Gopalatapni Upanishad, which contains about Krishna's pastimes, like that. And then Upanishads also help us in renunciation, because Upanishads are primarily for Jnana Yogis, so they have stress on renunciation, etc. And then Upanishads are helpful in having a relevant discussion or building bridges with traditional scholars. If you see Prabhupada also in his purports, I think mostly in Bhagavad Gita, he quotes Upanishadic references because traditional scholars, they may not accept Puranas as Shruti, but Jiva Goswami proves it in his Tattva Sandarbha. So for them, if you give something from Upanishad, how if you say, if you want to discuss about impersonalism, so there is a verse in Ishopanishad that we are going to study, no? Satyasya pihitam mukam hiranmaya patrena. So that such text, okay, then they say, okay, you're quoting something authentic. And even for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's proving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Supreme God. So for that also, if you quote from Upanishad, then people may be more willing to listen. Those, especially for those who are traditional scholars itself. So these are the 10 principal Upanishads: Isha, Kena, Katha, Prishna, Mundaka, Mandukya, Taittiriya, Aitreya, Chandogya, and Brihadaranyaka. Then Ishopanishad is a part of Shukla Yajurveda. Yajurveda has two sections, Shukla Yajurveda and Krishna Yajurveda. So it is part of the Shukla Yajurveda and is part of Vajrasaneya Samhita. That's why it is also called as Vajrasaneya Samhitopanishad. As we studied, Vedas have four parts, four types of parts like Samhitas, Brahmanas, Aranyakas, and Upanishads. Okay, so we'll start with this verse. This is the invocation. This is not exactly part of. Mata, you have some question?
Yes, Prabhuji. You said that there are two kinds of Yajurved. What are
Two
they?
parts, two parts. Shukla Yajurved and Krishna Yajurved.
And I have a question that the Upanishads are part of Vedas itself.
Yeah, they are part of Vedas. They are there in the Vedas.
I mean, the Vedas, suppose there are Sama Vedas, so inside Sama Veda there will be some Upanishads.
Something like that. Yeah. Vedas are like a series of nested discussions and all. So in that, a particular kind of discussion is considered like an Upanishad, something like that.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu. Sushil, Prabhu. You have some question? Okay. Okay, we'll start this verse. You can also recite. You can recite after me. Om Purnamada Purnamidam
Om
Purnat
Om
Purnamudachyate. Yes.
Purnamada Purnamidam Purnata Purnamuchyate Purnasya
Purnasya
Purnamadaya
Purnameva Vasishyate.
Purnamevayasishyate.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Okay, so the translation for it is as follows. The personality of Godhead is perfect and complete, and because he is completely perfect, all emanations from him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as complete wholes. Whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete in itself. Because he is the complete whole, even though so many complete units emanate from him, he remains the complete balance. Om Purnamada means Adha. So this is referring to the personality of Godhead is perfect and complete. Then Purnamidam. Then all the emanations from him, such as this phenomenal world, are also perfectly equipped as complete wholes. Then Purnasya Purnamadaya, because whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete in itself. Then Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Even though many complete units come from the complete whole, he still remains complete. So Prabhupada explains one by one these each of the lines of the verses. He mainly focuses on Om Purnamada and Purnamidam. We'll also see about the other things. I'll read it because it's a very small paragraphs. The complete whole or the supreme absolute truth is the complete personality of Godhead. Realization of impersonal Brahman or of Paramatma, the super soul, is incomplete realization of the absolute complete. The supreme personality of Godhead is Satchidananda Vigraha. Yeah. The Brahma Samhita verse, Ishvara Parama Krishna, that verse. Realization of impersonal Brahman is realization of his Sat feature or his aspect of eternity. And Paramatma realization is realization of his Sat and Chit features, his aspects of eternity and knowledge. But realization of the personality of Godhead is realization of all the transcendental features, Sat, Chit, and Anand, bliss. When one realizes the supreme person, he realizes these aspects of the absolute truth in their completeness. Vigraha means form. Thus, the complete whole is not formless. If he were formless or if he were less than his creation in any other way, he could not be complete. Yeah. The complete whole must contain everything both within and beyond our experience, otherwise, he cannot be complete. So, in our creation, we see something as form and something as formless. We see the solids, people, they have a form. Like air, they're formless. But we don't see anything which has both form and formless. So Lord has form. So he he has within the creation, he has form and he is also formless, but he is also simultaneously both form and formless. So that is beyond creation. The complete whole, the personality of Godhead has immense potencies, all of which are as complete as he is. Okay. So this here Prabhupada is explaining mainly about Purnamada, means the completeness of the absolute truth. So initially Prabhupada explained about the comparison between Bhagavan, Paramatma and Brahman. So the Brahman is absolute truth. Absolute truth means it is Satchidananda Vigraha, but it only manifests Sat potency. Paramatma is also absolute truth, means he is also Satchidananda Vigraha, but he only manifests Sat and Chit potencies. So Sat potency means it is eternality. So Brahman, you will understand that it is an eternal existence. Paramatma, you will understand, you can experience the eternality and also Chit. Chit means what? You will understand that Paramatma is also a conscious being. Yeah. Then Bhagavan is absolute truth manifesting such Chit and Ananda potencies. So Bhagavan is also eternal and Chit. Chit means he is also conscious. And Ananda means he performs many activities like pastimes. So just like if you take example of a pakoda, so it has all the features that pertain to all the five senses. It has a attractive shape, and it has like when you eat it also it produces a sound, and then it's very soft to touch, and it has an aromatic fragrance, and it has good aroma, and then it has good taste. So, but when you are far from pakoda, only you can only feel its shape. But when you come a bit more closer, then you can feel its aroma. Then then you can touch it. Then when you eat it, then you can experience that sound and then taste. So even when you're far also, the pakoda has all the features. So that way, absolute truth always has all the features. Once both Paramatma, Bhagavan and Brahman has all the features of Satchitanand, but they only manifest particular features. Okay. So since there is discussion on completeness, so this is a very elaborate definition given by Jiva Goswami in his Bhagavad Sandarbha, which it's like it explains all the completeness of Bhagavan. So we'll just read it. We may not study it. Studying may take a long time, and it's very complex also. Yeah. He who is the very form of existence, consciousness, and bliss, who possesses inconceivable, multifarious, and unlimited energies that are of his own nature, who is the ocean of unlimited, mutually contradictory qualities, such that in him both the attribute and possessor of attributes, the lack of differences and varieties of differences, formlessness and form, pervasiveness and centrality, Madhyamatva, all are true, whose beautiful form is distinct from both gross and subtle entities, self-luminous and consisting entirely of his own nature, who has unlimited such forms that are manifested by his chief form called Bhagavan, whose left side is beautified by Lakshmi, the manifestation of his personal energy, suitable to his own form, who resides in his own abode, along with his associates, who are furnished with a form that is special manifestation of his own splendor, who astonishes the hosts of Atma Ramas, those who take pleasure in the self by his wonderful qualities, pastimes, etc., which are characterized by the play of his personal energy, whose own generic brilliance is manifested in the form of the reality of Brahman, who is the sole shelter and life of his marginal energy called the living entities, whose mere reflected energy are the qualities of nature, gunas visible in the unlimited phenomenal world. He is Bhagavan. So this is like a very foolproof definition of Bhagavan, which only Krishna can prove, and no one others can contradict in any other way. And also shows how the completeness of Bhagavan is there. Okay, so we'll study in a simpler terms how like Bhagavan is omnipotent, means he's all powerful. He has the power to fulfill any of your desires, and he can get whatever he wishes. Like we see that how Mahavishnu, he just decides that let there be creation, and creation happens. It's not he has to work hard to build a building or to build this universe. And then there is also he is omnipresent. So Lord is present everywhere in the form of super soul. Means he is aware of everything that is happening in the universe. He's aware of everything that is happening in the universe. It's not he just built the universe, but he's aware of everything that's happening in the universe. Someone can mute. Then there is then he's omnipresent, and he's omnipresent, and he's also present everywhere in the universe, so that everyone can access him from anywhere in the universe. And he's omniscient, he knows everything that is happening in the universe. Then he's all attractive. All attractive means he has that six opulences of beauty, wealth, strength, knowledge, fame, and renunciation. Okay. Then he's also, and all attractive means he's all attractive, and he's most attractive, and then he's ever attractive. And all merciful also means he's all merciful, he's most merciful, and he's ever merciful. Yeah, Krishna may not be directly merciful, but his mercy is reflected through the mercy of his devotees, and also in some of his incarnations like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also. And then Bhagavan means all contradictions are resolved here. So recently we celebrated Narsimha Chaturdasi, where Narsimha resolves or defeats all the contradictory desires of Hiranyakashipu. Like, I should not be killed by a man, I should not be killed by an animal. Then he comes in a half man, half lion. Then I should not be killed in the day or killed in the night. So he kills him in the evening time, Sandhya time. And then I should not be killed by weapons, or I should not be killed by hands. So he kills him with nails. So then I should not be killed inside or outside. Then he kills him on the doorstep. So like that, different contradictions of this he no different contradictions decided by Hiranyakashipu. He thought that no one can do that, but Narasimha resolves all those contradictions. Okay, so this is about the completeness of God. Purnamidam. Purnamada. Now, Purnamidam refers to the emanations of the emanation coming from Krishna, which is also the material world. Prabhupada mainly speaks about the material world. Okay. So, thus, this phenomenal world is also complete in itself. The 24 elements of which this material universe is a temporary manifestation are arranged to produce everything necessary for the maintenance and subsistence of this universe. No other unit in the universe needs make an extraneous effort to try to maintain the universe. The universe functions on its own time scale, which is fixed by the energy of the complete world, And when that schedule is completed, the temporary manifestation will be annihilated by the complete arrangement of the complete whole. So, yeah, we will see how even the material world, especially how our material body is, very perfectly designed. There is a video on that.
The human body is one piece of testimony for Allah's art of creation. Both the inside and outside
sound
of
is
our
coming,
body
na?
includes endless evidence for believing in Allah.
Yes, Prabhu.
We can easily see the excellence of Allah's work just by looking at the outer appearance of the human body. The symmetry of the human body requires 2 arms, 2 legs, a body and a head. This symmetry is made up of perfect ratios. Every human being has a body which is 8 times as large as the head. Our faces are 3 times as long as our noses. The distance between our 2 eyes is the size of another eye. The ratio between our arms and legs was calculated in the best way possible. The human body is the most perfect machine in the world, and just like any machine, it displays the knowledge and capability of the power that designed it. The inside of the human body, too, is full of wonders. The human brain is made up of, on average, 10 billion nerve cells. These cells are connected to each other with 100 trillion connections. Now, the number 1 trillion is far beyond our comprehension. To get a better grasp of how large this number really is, let's try to think of a giant region which is 30 times as large as England. If we assume that the whole of this area is covered with trees and that each tree has 10,000 leaves on it, then the total number of leaves across this entire region is equal to the number of nerve connections in our brain. All these messages traveling to and from the brain travel at the staggeringly high speed of 320 kilometers per hour. The nerves between your brain cells and the rest of your body are like express highways used to convey information between the body and the brain. In short, our bodies are witness to a breathtakingly busy traffic each and every moment of our lives. Thousands of individual messages come and go between the body and the brain in the space of a single second. Between 100,000 to 1 million chemical reactions take place in our brains in just 1 minute. Even as you sit and watch this film, hundreds of messages are being shuttled between your brains and muscles with each thousandth of a second that passes by. These messages include information about what you're seeing. You're leaning backwards as you sit. You're understanding what you watch. The beating of your heart. Your breathing. The blinking of your eyes. Your hair growing. You're picking up smells, and you're hearing. You would have to write out pages and pages of chemical formulas if you wanted to explain just one of these functions. Just one mistake in these formulas would have caused your body to lose its balance. You could have poked your fingers in your eyes while combing your hair, or stumbled and fallen while trying to walk. However, Allah has created man in such excellence that we can perform the most complicated tasks flawlessly. In return, we should give thanks to Allah for creating us. Each of our five senses, seeing, smelling, touching, hearing, tasting, is a miracle in itself. Humans know the outside world through these senses, a boon that makes things easy for us. The details we grasp through our five senses remind us once again of Allah's artistry in creation. All of the five senses are designed expressly to meet a human's needs. For example, our ears can perceive sound vibrations only within a certain range. This range is called the hearing threshold, and it is ideal for everyone. If, on the other hand, we had extremely sensitive ears, we would have had to put up with all kinds of extraneous noises such as our own heartbeat or noises made by tiny insects. This would have been extremely annoying. The same fine-tuning has been applied to our sense of touch. The nerves under the skin which are sensitive to touch are designed and distributed in the best way possible. For example, in our fingertips, where we need the most sensitive touch, there are far more nerve endings than other parts of the body. For instance, there are far fewer nerve endings in areas such as the back, where they are not highly functional. Our skin might seem somewhat simple, but it's actually a very complex structure. It is formed by a number of layers, and it has nerves for perceiving, circulatory channels, a ventilation system, and controls which adjust according to the temperature and humidity. Our skeletons are truly an epitome of flawless engineering, a masterpiece formed by 206 separate bones. The human body has an extraordinary capability for movement by using all these pieces connected to each other. Even robot hands designed by scientists and engineers in recent years have fallen far short of matching the standard set by the human hand. When we examine the bones that collectively make up our skeleton, we are witness to an excellent design. To appreciate this design better, let's look at an example from modern-day technology. The scaffolding structure is used in the construction of large towering buildings. The support elements of the constructions made with this technique consist of many intersecting rods forming a scaffold. Buildings have been made much more durable through complex calculations made with computers. But the inner structure of our bones is immeasurably more complex than this man-made system. Due to their unique structure, our bones are extremely strong, and yet light enough for comfortable use. The joints where our bones are connected to each other give ample evidence for creation. Joint surfaces exposed to friction are covered with a thin, porous cartilage layer. Underneath this layer is a lubricant. Whenever the bone compresses the joint, this lubricant gushes out of the pores and makes the joint surface slide as if on oil. Humans, due to this excellent design, can very easily perform a very large range and number of movements. All this serves to show that the human body is the product of flawless design. It is Allah who created this design. In the Quran, Allah calls on people to consider a singular fact.
So we saw in the video how the body, both externally and also internally, how it's very intricately designed, and how it is intricately designed to perform the very desired functions very properly. Just telling about how ears are designed in such a way that they don't need to hear unnecessary noises, and skins also, the skin tissues are more present where the touch sensation is most needed, and they are not present. They are present scarcely where that is not so much needed. So that, yeah. Okay, in the same way, you can take some around 7 minutes, and you can think about the laws of karma, which the Vedas say, and there is laws in the world. There is the judicial systems in the world. So you can contrast. So like the same thing, he contrasted between the human bones and the buildings outside. So how the laws of karma are more perfect than the laws of this world. Then also the universal government, which means the demigods and all, how they perform more perfectly and how it is more complete than the governments which we have in this, of the national governments and all. So what are these defects and how they are more perfect? And also about Vedic science and modern science, how Vedic science is more complete and more perfect, more holistic. Modern science is how it is one-sided and like this. So you can think of some points, then we'll discuss. Okay, any question on this? Like,
Prabhuji, I have a request.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, will you be sharing this document with us because it is difficult to make notes simultaneously?
Yeah, I'll share mostly by tomorrow or something. I'll share. I'll also have to share video recordings and all many things, so I'll share.
This Word document also, right? Because through this Word document only we are studying, so it will be easy for us to refer.
Yeah. My Word document syncs with Google Drive, so I'll sync the Google Doc. I'll share the Google Doc.
Thank you so much for.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, I have one more question.
Yeah.
From four Vedas, all these Puranas and Upanishads are derived, or they are a
No,
different section?
Puranas are different, altogether different.
Okay.
Upanishads are like part of Vedas.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So earlier Vedas were written or Puranas?
Yeah, see, Vedas eternally exist.
Okay.
Till Kali Yuga, they exist in sound form. At the beginning of Kali Yuga, Vyasadeva has put them in the written form.
Right.
Yeah. And Puranas, when they are Puranas also Vyasadeva has written. So whether before they were existent in the sound form, I need to check. Means or Vyasadeva has composed them. I need to check. I'm not sure. But Jiva Goswami actually tells also they are Shruti, so they also must be existent. Yeah, at least according to Jiva Goswami, they are also existent in the sound form and they are put in the writing by Vyasadeva.
Okay, but
So
here we learned that Vyasdev when he formed all the Vedas and Puranas, but he was not satisfied. Then at the end, Narada suggested him to write about the Krishna like Bhagavatam.
yeah, so see, take the example of a meeting. So first meeting happens,
Okay,
then the notes for the meeting is made. Or let's say an academic conference happens,
right,
then that the book, the compilation of all that papers and all it happens. So see, Vedas are
correct,
like it's a discussion. It's a discussion by some rishis and all. So that happens, and then that knowledge comes. Then at a particular point of time, they are put in the written word.
right,
Yeah, yeah. So in one sense, like Vyasa has transcribed the Vedas in something like that. Not something like that. Not exactly Vyasa has composed the Vedas. Vedas are eternal. Okay, now I hope it makes sense.
yes, yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Or like songbooks also you can take example. Like songs are sung, but now they don't use. But sometimes after the movie gets released, after a long time, they may make a song book. So, something like that.
Yes.
Okay. Mataji, you have some question?
No, Guruji, I raised hand for the answers.
No. We will wait for some time. We can take around 7 minutes. Think about these things, and then we'll discuss.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu. Somebody has question?
Yeah. My question is this information which has been shared,
Uh,
uh, it has anything connection with the application part of
yeah, so we
Krishna
are
consciousness?
discussing about completeness, no? The completeness of how the material world is complete. So that only we are discussing. So,
Okay.
so human body is part of material creation only. No? So we saw the video of how human body is perfect and complete. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll start the discussion. So for each question, we will take only 3 responses so that we can manage the time properly. Okay, so for first question, you can raise hand. Okay, we are there. Okay, Rahul Prabhu, you want to? You can start.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, bro.
Prabhuji, I have just uh, jotted down 2 points in
Ah,
between the difference between law of karma and law of this world.
yeah.
So, Prabhuji, as per my understanding, law of karma is fixed. That
Hmm.
is, how the law of karma works, it doesn't change.
Yes, yes.
But the law of world, it changes
Yes,
year to
yes.
year, government to government.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay.
And then law of karma cannot be there is no discount when it comes to law of karma. That there is no relaxation. If you do something wrong, you have to
Yeah, yeah.
face the results and consequences of it. And if you
Hmm.
do something good, then it's vice versa.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the law of world,
Hmm.
we have seen that there are many criminals and people
Hmm.
are doing something good or bad,
Yeah.
but sometimes they are released from the jail or uh, they get some relaxations even they do something wrong.
Okay, okay. Fine, fine. These 2 points are okay. We'll take from others.
Thank you. Hare
Okay.
Krishna.
Okay. Shrikant Prabhu, you want to- ठीक है. Yashraj Prabhu, can you see something? Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, my voice is audible. Hare Krishna.
Ah, yes, yes. You can tell.
Yeah,
We are able to
yes,
hear.
please. So in the law of karma, so we have to uh, what is it? Its reaction. We have to take its reaction even after birth and birth and birth. Maybe
Yeah.
if I did so many karma bad deed in this life, so it will come in after some lives or maybe some 100 and 200 year life. It
Yeah.
doesn't resolve even until we have to
Mm.
accept it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
in the law of world,
Mm.
anybody, some people can escape the laws of the
Yes, yes.
government, and
Okay.
he can escape the country and to
Yes,
cheat
yes.
the government. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it can be cheated,
Yeah.
but in law of karma, you cannot bribe and cheat.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Thank you. Shrikant Prabhu, you want to say something?
No, yes, bro. I was on mute actually. I spoke on mute. I think same thing. One is that exists across life. Like if someone kills 2 people in this life, he can be awarded only one punishment. But
Okay.
as Prabhuji mentioned, that laws of karma is across lives. So you
Yeah.
may have to take multiple lives. And one thing is, laws of karma is same for all. Laws
Yeah.
of this world changes across countries.
Yeah, yeah, that is good. And yeah, also laws of karma are impartial, but laws of this world are partial. Like sometimes certain kind of people are exempted from certain punishments and all. So yeah, if somebody is old and if he has committed a crime, they may be excused or they may be given lesser punishment. But the laws of karma, yeah, he will get punishment when he gets that appropriate situation and he gets punishment. Like for Dhritarashtra, it took him 100 births to attain the pious credits to have 100 sons and then get punished because he has burnt alive 100 birds, children of 100 children of a bird, something like that. So that. Okay, so now for second question, we can raise it. Second question. Okay, anyone else? Okay, two only. Okay, Sony Prabhu, you can say. Universal government and
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
yes, ma'am.
So, Prabhuji, for universal government and local government, we can understand that even in the state rule, like the way the government is there, and there is one supreme person whom we call prime minister or the president who rules the country or a place or a nation, and under him there are different ministries who function in different aspects to run the nation smoothly. So in the similar way, we understand that there is a universal government as well, where Krishna is the supreme personality who acts as the prime minister, and under him there are multiple demigods who works under his will, and something like that. And then
This is similarity. We want differences.
Yeah. Difference also.
Yeah, we want differences. Okay, fine. It's good. Similarity is also good to hear. Okay, yes, Raj Prabhu. Can you say?
Hare Krishna. So local government can be changed after 5 years, but universal government is appropriately work, and maybe in the local government there is a corrupted people who
Yes.
can manipulate the laws as per their will. But in the universal government, exceptional Purana, some stories, but universal government made by the God is always what we can uncorrupted
Yeah,
and
foolproof.
unmotivated.
Yeah.
Yeah, foolproof.
Thank you, thank you.
So
Okay, these two
yeah.
points are good. Okay, next. Okay, Shrikant Prabhu, you want to say something?
Guruji, one thing is that in universal government, the departments they work perfectly. Like sun will rise every day in the morning.
Yeah, yeah. Good.
Local government, we have load sheddings and electricity will go. So.
Yeah, good, good. Thank you. Of course, sunshine also may gets it gets modulated also as per things. Okay. Okay, Ravi Roshan Prabhu, want to add something?
For the third one,
Third one. Okay, okay. Third one will come. We'll come to that. Okay, now anyone for second one? Okay, no one is there. Yeah, again, we say universal government functions very effectively, means it's omniscient, means demigods can detect if you're offering something, some sacrifice, some yajna, then they will definitely reciprocate. But local government is not like, if you, even that's what that faultiness is there, that even if you pay tax, you may not get that benefit. Like, yeah, many people don't pay tax, but they get benefit, and many taxpayers, they may not get benefit. So they may not get benefit accordingly. Many taxpayers get, so something like that. So that is also there. Okay, now we'll take about Vedic science and modern science. Okay, Ravi Roshan, you can take.
like Vedic science is perfect in itself because it comes from God. But modern science is because it's based upon our limited senses. We always see that the theories and whatever it is getting solved by our material senses, that is always a dilemma that it's true or false or
Yeah.
going to be changed.
Okay, yeah. So we can see that how the things provided by science, they have to be repaired, they have to be maintained, and different things. Okay. Okay, Lekha Mataji, you want to say something?
Yeah, so basically, the most important point is that modern science is the subordinate of the Vedic science. Why? Because Vedic science is God made and modern science is human made. We can take, for example, the aeroplanes and the submarines that we are having. Those things already existed in the Vedic science as the different kind of siddhis, like Laghima Siddhi, and there's so many siddhis. In fact, they were much better than the modern science because using those siddhis, the anyone, the mystics, they can travel from one planet to another. They can lighter themselves more, they can make themselves more lighter than a cotton, and they can make themselves very heavy. They can float on the water, they can convert ash to gold. And they had so many, different powers. Also, some more examples like Ayurveda. Ayurveda, there are no surgeries required in Ayurvedas, but we see that the modern medical system is so sophisticated.
Yeah.
And also about the mantras, we see that modern science has created nuclear weapon, but earlier Brahmastra, that using some mantras, people can destroy the whole world.
Yeah.
Because on the form of mantras there were nuclear weapons,
Yeah.
and in the form of herbs, there were some
Okay.
medicines, and even there were mantras to control the snakes also. And
Yeah,
the
yeah.
most important point was there was no exploitation of the nature.
Yeah,
So
good. So,
modern science,
yeah, tell
modern
me.
sorry, modern science, whatever it does, first of all, the continuous editions keep on coming. There is
Yeah.
5th edition, 6th edition, and
Yeah.
whatever they create, there is a side product
Yes,
that creates another problem, and to solve that problem, again they create something else,
Okay,
and
thank you.
again that creates some other.
Yes. So one thing is the Vedic science is holistic. Holistic means if you're treating body, then it is ensured that mind doesn't get affected. But modern science is, if you're treating mind, means you're taking some antidepressants or something, then because of overdose, body may get affected. Or if you're treating a particular organ of the body, then other organs may get affected because of those tablets, medicines. So that is there. And Vedic science also it is God centered, whereas modern science is not God centered. Okay. Archana Mataji, you want to say something?
Vedic science can explain the journey of the soul after death,
Hmm.
and modern science is limited. It
Okay.
has no explanation of the journey of the soul after death.
Yes.
And Vedic science explains about 14 worlds,
Hmm.
and we are in modern world limited to only space missions and all.
Okay. Yes. Thank you.
And,
Okay.
and one more about the missile Mataji spoke about. We have not yet discovered a missile that can, tornado or something like a water missile.
Yeah. Correct. Yes. That is good. Okay. Rajkumar Pro, you want to say something?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Am I audible, Prabhuji?
Yes.
Yeah. As most of the points are already covered, that the Vedic science is not impacted by the defects that we people have, whereas this modern science is basically around the defects that we have within us. And Mataji explained in detail the Lekha Mataji, I think.
Yeah.
So I just want to summarize that Vedic science is like a substance, the real substance, whereas the modern science is the bad copy of that real substance, which is the shadow that we discuss in our DYS always.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
One thing is Vedic science goes to the root cause, and modern science deals with superficial things and all. Okay, so thank you. So we'll close the discussion here. Let's see.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can I say one point?
Yes. Okay, fine. Yes, Prabhu, please continue.
Modern science deals with the matter, and Vedic science deals with the living force. That is soul.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, very correct. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Okay, now we have studied about the completeness of the absolute truth or God, and then also completeness of the world. We have discussed some points. Now, let's say you tell this to somebody, and then someone says, no, I have so many desires, but no, the earth is not providing me sufficient resources. So in that way, he says, no, the earth is not complete. So what will you answer? Anyone? Okay, just a minute, I'll tell. Okay. Okay, we'll take two answers. Okay. Vaikuntha Bihari Prabhu, you want to answer?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Sorry. Can you please repeat the question, Prabhuji?
Yeah, question is here. See, if someone comes and challenges that no, the earth doesn't have sufficient resources, so how are you claiming that it is complete? So that is the question. Yeah, you can think for 1 minute and then.
Earth has sufficient resources, Prabhuji. But,
Yeah.
But due to the greed of the human beings, it has been exploited.
Yeah, what you're saying is correct, but it can be put in a little more appropriate way. But yeah, what you're saying is correct. Good. I want to hear some. Okay, maybe we'll see for 1, 2, then we'll answer.
And resources are not used in a proper manner, in the right way, for right purpose.
Yeah, it's correct. Okay, good. Okay, Yashraj bro, you want to say something?
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
So actually, if somebody asks us if Earth doesn't have sufficient resources, so actually Earth have already all resources whatever we need, like food, water, clothes, and shed. But if we want something fantastic and we want to fly on the moon surface, and so in this case, it's a personal fantasy. We cannot entertain that. But for our basic needs, Earth have already some sufficient amount of water, like rivers. We have sufficient amount of food, field, and shed. So if we go to the natural life, so we will find Earth give us a lot, but we are manipulating actually Earth.
Okay, good. Okay, correct. Thank you. So, yeah. Yeah, so whenever we say something complete, we have to qualify it with what respect we are saying it as complete. So Bhagwan's completeness, like Lord's absolute truth completeness is absolute. Everything is possible and all. So when we are saying completeness of the world, we have to define, it is defined with respect to the purpose of the world. So the purpose of the world is facilitate the desires of the conditioned souls and then ultimately help the conditioned soul in self-realization. So yeah, it is to facilitate the desires of a conditioned soul, but now all conditioned souls' desires have to be facilitated simultaneously. And many conditioned souls' desires conflict with each other. So for that, there have to be a system. So that's what the system of karma. So accordingly, the world is managed. So, but how it is complete? Because the karma, the law of karma is flawless and it works perfectly. It doesn't change. In that way, it is complete. So that is means we have to define completeness means it has a particular meaning. It is not absolute completeness, like how the completeness of the Lord is. Thank you. Now, okay. So now, why this Prabhupada also makes that point because how this conception of incompleteness of the world has come. So initially, even in the olden age, both in even Europe also when Christianity is there. So initially, there is a conception of both happiness in this world and happiness in the other world, means in the spiritual world. They are seen together and also the multiple lives are seen together. So they means they could sense the completeness of this world. But once after some due course of time, reincarnation is removed. So then what happened? This life only is all in all. So either we have to, so we can, we have to make it to the spiritual world in this life or not. So that gave some sense of incompleteness. That created a sense of incompleteness. Then in the Renaissance period, during the Renaissance, there is a lot of focus on rationality and scientific thought, and religion, the focus on religion has decreased. Then the happiness in this world, because religion focus on happiness in the spiritual world, means in the next life and in the world above. So the happiness in this life and in this world became very important. So then the more sense of incompleteness was being experienced. Then there is materialism, greed, means it's more of only my happiness, not even others' happiness. So that way, slowly, as it became more and more self-centered, that's why there is an understanding of that the world is incomplete, etc. So then they started industrial revolution and then polluting the earth and all. So because the greed has increased and there is self-centeredness, they thought that no, the earth is insufficient, so they wanted to explore space, and they thought that we are not getting sufficient resources, so they want to have artificial rains and all. So this is the So Prabhupada explained this in the word. So the universe so no other unit in the universe need to make an extraneous effort to try to maintain the universe. But because the people have become more and more self-centered and less God conscious and less soul conscious, so they thought that the universe is lacking something and we have to do something about it. So that's why they thought we should have artificial rains or we should explore more planets. So they want to mine gold on asteroids. There are some companies they're working on that. So So even if you take the example of communists, they thought that there is there is unfairness in the world, that everyone should become equal. Not somebody is rich, somebody is poor. No, this is unfairness because they don't know about the laws of karma. So they wanted to create a classless society. So they thought we should adjust the world. So then they wanted to distribute land again, distribute wealth in a different way, and So Vedic life means it is both. You can be happy in this life and afterwards. So for that, you should understand and follow the laws of God, and Prakriti will provide everything. Okay. Okay, now I'll read the next paragraph. All facilities are given to the small complete units, namely the living beings, to enable them to realize the complete whole. All forms of incompleteness are experienced due to incomplete knowledge of the complete whole. The human form of life is a complete manifestation of the consciousness of the living being, and it is obtained after evolving through 84 lakh species of life in the cycle of birth and death. If in this human life of full consciousness, the living entity does not realize his completeness in relation to the complete whole, he loses the chance to realize his completeness and is again put into the evolutionary cycle by the law of material nature. So initially Prabhupada is talking about the facility. There is facility to realize the complete whole. So that is the path of yoga. All three means karma yoga, jnana yoga, even dhyana yoga and bhakti yoga. All are there to realize the absolute truth. So we see how they are complete because they are also like eternal process. They don't change. It's not like means they function eternally. It's not only for particular yoga only something is applicable and not. Definitely in Satya Yoga there may be more focus and it may be more easy to practice karma yoga, but in Kali Yoga it is difficult to practice karma yoga, but it's not like it doesn't work. And it may be more easy to practice bhakti yoga. And they are scientific, means they are very systematic, and if you practice it properly you will get the result, and if you commit mistakes then you will not get the result. So that is there, and everyone can practice. Definitely bhakti yoga immediately we can start practicing, but karma yoga and jnana yoga you have to attain some qualification, but everyone can go towards that qualification and then start practicing. Like karma yoga, one has to be in varnashrama system. Like Jnana Yoga, one has to be renounced order. So everyone can go towards, but some may take time to attain that qualification to practice. And this path of yoga, they are not unaffected. Means how the system of yoga works, it is not affected by any material factors. So, but if you see, let's say if you see like an IT company, it gets affected by the circumstance. So there may be layoffs or the company may get closed, but it's not about the path of yoga. It works always. So that way, that way there is a complete facility to realize the completeness of the Lord. So that is the path of yoga, and how it is complete we saw, because it has these features. There may be many other features also which can be discussed. Okay. And also the benefit, like we can, that Neha Bikramana Shosti verse is there in Bhagavad Gita. So whatever progress you make in the path of yoga, you can continue from that. So that the progress is always carried on. So that is also there. Because this path of yoga, it is under the internal potency of the Lord. Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga, all this, which is a spiritual energy of the Lord. So that is there. And all the facilities are there in the world. There is knowledge in form of Vedas, and there are sadhus. Lord also sends his associates as Nitya Siddhas also, they also incarnate sometimes. And there are tirthas, there are holy places, there are temples, also mosques, churches, that also. And there are holy rivers. So all these facilities are there to enable the living entity to realize the completeness of the Lord and also his own completeness. Okay. Now Prabhupada talked about how the human form is the best possible possible way to realize this completeness. So for that, yeah, Bhagavatam, there is a description. So here this description of this verse. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, expanding his own potency, Maya Shakti, created innumerable species of life to house the conditioned souls. Yet, by creating the forms of trees, reptiles, animals, birds, snakes, and so on, the Lord was not satisfied within his heart. Then he created human life, which offers the conditioned soul sufficient intelligence to perceive the absolute truth and become pleased. So the human intelligence is especially capable of inquiring and understanding the absolute truth. Okay, next. After many births and deaths, one achieves the rare human form of life, which, although temporary, affords one the opportunity to attain the highest perfection. Thus, a sober human being should quickly endeavor for the ultimate perfection of life, as long as his body, which is always subject to death, has not fallen down and died. After all, sense gratification is available even in the most abominable species of life, whereas Krishna consciousness is possible only for a human being. Yeah, like this example Bhattacharya Maharaj used to give, like the whole universe, the 14 planetary systems is like a building. The building has both the underground floors and also the floors above the ground. So if you have to come out of the building, you have to come to the ground floor. So which is like Earth planet, and also which also means the human form of life. And then only you come out. So this Maharaj used to give this analogy. And yeah. So we studied like how there is a facility, there is a complete facility to realize the completeness of the Lord in this world, in this complete world. And also how human form is that complete facility. Okay. Now Prabhupada is telling about the incomplete, all forms of incompleteness are experienced due to incomplete knowledge of the complete world. Yeah. So this is a very nice insight by Prabhupada. We will just study. Okay. So there are different levels of incompleteness because of the incomplete knowledge. Means there are different levels of incomplete knowledge of the complete world. So first there is atheism. Atheism says there is no God. means God doesn't exist. Then there is something called as deism, which says I don't need God. Yeah, yeah. They accept like God might have created this world and all, but I don't need God. The earth also doesn't need God. It is running by itself. The nature is running by itself. Then there are people who have materialistic approach to God. So they accept the existence of God. They say that I need God to supply happiness. Means God is my order supplier. That I do this, I worship God so that I can get some material things from God. But a devotee or even you can say yogic practitioner, they say I need only God. God is only my happiness. I don't need this one. So this is like a complete knowledge of the God. This is a little more. This is incomplete. This is more incomplete, and this is like zero knowledge of God. That way. So if we have God consciousness, it will solve the problems of the world. How one example we can say, one of the major thing that is causing problems is the unequal distribution of wealth. So the rich contain the few rich people own the majority of the wealth, and the poor people, which are a majority portion, own very lesser part of the wealth, and it is there in almost every country. So God consciousness, if the rich people become God conscious, then they understand that this wealth does not belong to me. I'm only the custodian of this wealth. Then they will understand, okay, I cannot, so I cannot enjoy all this wealth. So then they say that I cannot, so then I don't have the right to enjoy this wealth completely. So then, oh yeah, I should distribute this wealth and I should use it in the service of God. So then, yeah, they will not celebrate pre-wedding ceremonies worth thousands of crores. Yeah. Even they celebrate, but they will give charity, and those kind of celebrations will be God-centered. Then the poor, so the poor also will understand that there is not much worth uh, looking for material happiness. So they will also be content. And generally, if when the rich distribute their wealth, the poor also they will get their needs fulfilled. So that way, uh, God consciousness can solve the problems. So as Prabhupada is saying, when there is a complete knowledge of the complete whole, then all the incompleteness experience will be gone. So that is how, this is one way to understand that statement. There may be many other angles of understanding. Okay. So initially, Prabhupada explained about the completeness of God. Then Prabhupada explained about the completeness of the world. Then Prabhupada explained how there is a facility to understand the completeness of this world and completeness of God in this world. And also, if there is a incomplete understanding of the complete whole, then how incompleteness will be experienced. Yeah. I hope you're understanding. Any questions? Okay. Okay, we'll proceed for the next paragraph also. Okay, I'll read. Because we don't know that there is a complete arrangement in nature for our maintenance, we make efforts to utilize the resources of nature to create a so-called complete life of sense enjoyment. A so-called complete life of sense enjoyment. Because the living entity cannot enjoy the life of the senses without being dovetailed with the complete whole, the misleading life of sense enjoyment is illusion. Prabhupada is giving the analogy. The hand of a body is a complete unit only as long as it is attached to the complete body. When has none of the potencies of hand, similarly. Yeah. Similarly, living beings are part and parcel of the complete whole, and if they are severed from the complete whole, the illusory representation of completeness cannot fully satisfy. Okay. Yes, bro, you have some questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, yes.
Prabhuji, prior to this paragraph, we were reading verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. So I have a question around that. That we say that, like one of the verse from Bhagavatam goes like this: Karmana Devanetrena. So under the supervision of divine and based on the past karmic actions that we have done, we are awarded a new body after we leave this body, right?
Okay, okay.
And
Yes.
also at the time of death, whatever desire we have. So all
Mm.
three put together, we get a body,
Mm.
right? So
Yeah.
if we do not do well in this lifetime or previous lifetimes, we may lose this human form of life and get maybe some animal body.
Yes, yes, yes.
So that is all based on whatever we have done so far. So
Yeah.
we can understand the law of karma is under work, right?
Yeah.
But why did God created from the very beginning of this cosmic manifestation, when the liberated soul became conditioned soul in this material world, why did God created them? Uh, I mean, they awarded them this animal body, and later He awarded some of the liberated souls a human form of life. I mean, where is the logic? I mean, on what formula he decided that these guys will go under animals and the others will get the opportunity to get this human form of life?
Okay, so that is your question. Okay. So see, one thing is we don't know how the creation started, and no, we cannot put our time frame on this creation and see that. So how it works is like it depends upon the desire. See, always the living entity has the choice to choose the superior spiritual energy or the material energy. And based on his choices, he gets the reactions for his actions. So that is there. Now, see, in a particular creation, if you see, based on the karma, the Brahma means no. Accordingly, Brahma initially creates the different bodies. Then, accordingly, the souls come from the Garbhodaksha Vishnu, and then Brahma accordingly gives each soul the body it deserves as per its previous karma. That is how it happens in a after partial pralaya. Then the next universe. That is how it starts. Now I have not come across, or there is not much description about how the initial living entities they got this which what body they were there initially, how and how this thing started, that I don't.
Okay, Prabhuji. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like there is some description like initially, even while creation also, before the souls are actually given bodies, there is some need of demigods to create the elements and all. So from the elements to create the universe. So there it is said that the Lord only expands as the demigods. So if we superimpose, means this is where we can guess that in the initial thing, Lord himself can play the role of the trees and animals and all. They can play, and then accordingly the human beings, if they are in the human form, then as per their choices, things may start. This is something we can just guess it. Yeah. But
Yeah.
as such, I have not come across.
No problem. But fair enough. What you are saying that God expands looks fair enough. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
But one question, Prabhu,
Yeah.
like related to this one only. So, is there any uh, something written or some acharya have given this highlight on this? Maybe it didn't come to us till now, but anything related to this has been already described by any acharyas or any anybody in the history also?
No, this I have not come across. So yeah, means in the beginning, no, in the beginning point of the creation and all. So yeah, there is not much described there, but yeah.
Prabhuji, is it not, this question looks similar to the question that we always often gets asked, that we say that Krishna is the supreme creator while we are explaining all of the philosophy. But we get asked this question, who is the creator then behind Krishna? Who created Krishna?
Yeah.
Right?
So by definition, so see, God by definition is something like he is the supreme being and he is the start of the universe. So that is by definition we do that. And now how God can be the supreme being, that is our acharyas explained, it is inconceivable.
Yeah.
Okay. So God by definition, otherwise you want to make God as a human being who also has a cause, then that will be an endless logic and it will not result in anything.
So similarly, this question what I asked is also kind of inconceivable.
In some way.
Yeah.
But this is, I just gave one way to try to resolve that inconceivability. But yeah, I have not, means yeah, I have not come any authentic reference to support it. Yeah.
Okay.
A similar explanation is given in a different context. That way. Okay. So now, yeah, so Prabhupada mentioned about the life of sense enjoyment. We'll discuss this paragraph and last paragraph we can discuss later. Yeah, let me complete this point, then we'll discuss. So, life of so-called, Prabhupada told us, so-called life of sense enjoyment, which is like without understanding of the complete whole. So we see that the life of sense enjoyment, there is always endless hope promised. So for a poor man, they say, okay, you come to middle class, then you have your basic things. Then okay, the middle class life, maybe, you know, like they can go anywhere on train, they can visit different places and all. Then yeah, they promise, no, if you go on flight, it will be, you'll be more happy. And yeah, you have normal smartphone, if you have iPhone, you'll be more happy. Then more, okay, once they can afford air travel, then they have more hope. Then they say, no, you should travel in business class. Then they say, no, you not Indian location, not the local locations, you should go to foreign locations. So like this, always there is endless hope given, no, this is better, this is better. And also there is so much glamorization of this kind of happiness, like the American dream, or no, they say celebrity culture, like as if celebrity life is, whole life is a celebration. So it's glamorized and there is a lot of endless hope is there, and there is endless frustration. Means whatever level you reach, something more is saying you are falling short of something. Even you are the most richest person in your country, but you are not the richest person in the world. So there is always frustration and no more motive to go work hard. And as one becomes more and more engrossed in material life, there is increasing ignorance of the complete whole, means of God. So more and more incomplete understanding of the complete whole. So as it is told, Janmaishwara Shutashribi Edamana Madapuman. So this wealth, education and all, they will take one away from, more and more away from God. Okay, so yeah, one thing as Prabhupada told, if you understand that you are part and parcel of the complete whole, you're a spiritual being and your happiness can only be spiritual. You can be only happy when you have a spiritual, in the spiritual realm. So that as one realizes, then one can be happy. Otherwise, this life of sense enjoyment, which is promised, will be an illusion. Okay. Yeah, anyone, any questions? Somebody has question? And what we discussed today?
Prabhuji, one
Yeah.
question
Yes.
related to this explanation.
Mm.
Like, were we there in Vaikuntha anytime when we took birth? And
Yes.
then we had desires, and because we say now that because of our desires we have come to this earth. So, was there any time when we were in Vaikuntha and then we fallen down? And then how once we went to Vaikuntha we will not come back? Is there?
Okay, so this is a question that should not be discussed, at least as per temple policy and all. So there are different explanations for this. Also, like Prabhupada mainly says that the soul has fallen from the spiritual world. And at very few places, Prabhupada also says that the soul is there in eternally from starting. The soul is in the material world. This much I say. And if you have something, you can ask your guides and discuss.
Okay,
These things should not be discussed in the public forum.
okay, okay.
Okay, any other question? Okay, so today Prabhupada explained initially about the completeness of the Lord, how the Satchidananda Vigraha, and we also saw how Lord is omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent, all attractive, all merciful, and all contradictions are resolved. Then there is the completeness of this world. The completeness of this world is not absolute. The world has a particular purpose and how it is perfectly fulfilling that purpose. So the purpose is to facilitate the desires of the living entities that happens through the law of karma, and also to facilitate the spiritual realization of the living entities. So for that, we have discussed how the Vedic culture is more perfect and how the Vedic form of governance is more perfect and these things. And we also saw the video of how human body is made perfect so that it exactly facilitates how it is very perfectly designed. And then we also saw how in this world there is a perfect arrangement to realize the Lord. So that is the path of yoga. We discussed how it is perfect. Then Prabhupada told about how if you have incomplete knowledge of the complete whole, you will experience incompleteness. So that we discussed about the different levels of incomplete knowledge of the complete whole and how it is suffering. And how if we obtain completeness, how it can lead to happiness. So we discussed how God consciousness can solve the unequal distribution of wealth. Then we also saw how this life of sense enjoyment, ignoring the complete knowledge of the complete whole, is an illusion, and etc. So the last paragraph we will discuss in the next class next week. So thank you very much. I will soon share the notes and also share the attendance and etc. tomorrow. So thank you very much. Pancha Kalpa Tarubhishya Pasandavi Nam Pavani Vaishnava.
Prabhuji, can I take 1 minute?
Yes, yes.
Like I've seen like some 6 names which are not present today.
Okay.
Posted in the chat. If they are present with some other name, they can let me know.
Yeah, yeah. They can personally let you know. Yes.
Personally let me know.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.